We talked in circles, never straight. Said I'm fine when it was late. Your eyes would drift, your hands would freeze, like you were halfway gone from me. I learned your silence like a song. Every note felt slightly wrong. You'd stop before you said my name, and I would fill the space with blame. I loved you in the moments you didn't say a word. I read between your breathing and believed what I had heard. I loved you in the pause between hello and goodbye, in the seconds where I waited, hoping you'd still try. You never chose to leave me, you just slowly slipped away. I loved you in the pause, where you couldn't stay. We danced around the truth too long, called it patience, called it strong. But love needs sound and needs a voice, not fear disguised as choice. If I had asked you one more time, would you have answered? Would you lie? I guess I'll never know for sure. I just know what I endured. I loved you in the pause, where my heart held its breath. You were already letting go. I was fighting what was left. If love is all the space we keep before we fall apart, then I loved you in the pause with my whole heart. I softened every truth I said, so I wouldn't scare you off. I swallowed words I needed heard, called silence love. I smiled when I needed space, I laughed through fear on my face. I thought being easy would make you stay. I confused being gentle with being unseen. I spoke love too quietly, hoped you'd hear my heart. But love that whispers too softly still breaks apart. I needed you to listen, I needed you to try. I spoke love too quietly and watched it die. you'd notice in time, but time just passed us by. If I could speak to who I was, I'd tell her love needs sound, it needs to be chosen, not just allowed. I spoke love too quietly, but I won't again. The next time I love, I'll be heard till the end. I won't fade into the background to be adored. I spoke love too quietly once before. The signs were written on the wall. I read them all, ignored them all. You stopped meeting my eyes, but I stayed and told myself lies. Ooh, we were ghosts sharing space, repeating habits, losing faith. I felt the goodbye in your tone, but I couldn't leave alone. I knew the moment had passed, but I wasn't ready to accept. I stayed past the ending, past where love was gone. I kept believing in us when you'd already moved on. I stayed when I should have left, because hope felt safer than pain. I stayed past the ending. I thought endurance meant love, but love shouldn't feel like enough is never enough. Some endings don't slam the door, they slowly teach you there's no more. I stayed past the ending, but I won't again. I deserve a love that doesn't have to pretend. I stayed when I should have left, because hope felt safer than pain. I stayed past the ending. I stayed past the ending. Held my tongue, I swallowed my pain, smiled through arguments, held the chain. I stayed quiet to keep the peace, even when my heart tear I didn't show. Built a distance you didn't know. I thought silence could hold us near, but silence can't fix what's unclear. And I stayed quiet for us, while my heart quietly bled. And I gave everything I had, and left my own words unsaid. I stayed quiet for us, but it wasn't enough. I stayed quiet for us, while you gave so little love. Now I'm learning how to speak, to show my heart without feeling weak. I'll stay true to myself, not someone else. Quiet hearts can still break, but learning to speak is what it takes. And I stay quiet for us, but now I'll find my voice. I'll love where unseen, and make my own choice. And I stay quiet for us, but my heart quietly bled. And I gave everything I had, and left my own words unsaid. I stayed quiet for us, but it wasn't enough. I stayed quiet for us, while you gave so little love. I watch the door like it might speak, like you come back and choose me. Every night I set aside the truth I tried so hard to hide. You said someday, you said not now. I believed you somehow. I made excuses for your space, called distance grace. I thought patience patience meant love was strong. I didn't know I was holding on wrong. My heart learned to wait before it learned to heal. I mistook your absence for something real. I waited for signs you never sent. My heart learned to wait on love you never meant. I turned my needs into a crime so you could take your time. I stood still while you moved on, called it hope when it was gone. If loving means denying pain, then I was brave in all the wrong ways. I should have left when I felt small, but I stayed for almost and maybes. My heart learned to wait, but I'm teaching it now. That love doesn't ask you to beg or bow. I waited too long, but I survived. My heart learned to wait, now it's learning to rise. Every night I hear your name like a whisper I can't tame. My heart reaches through the dark for the pieces you left behind. I thought I'd heal, I thought I'd move, but love like ours leaves a groove. It etches deep, it lingers near, even when you disappear. I try to let go, I try to be free, but my heart still calls for thee. My heart still calls you through the silence, through the pain, through empty rooms and memories, through the shadows that remain. I wish you could hear how much I still care. My heart still calls you. I see your face in the night, feel your warmth that's out of sight. Even though you're far away, I can't stop what I feel today. Time can heal, but it can't erase the echoes of your tender grace. My heart still calls you. laughed at jokes that hurt inside. Said I'm okay 1,000 times. You never saw behind my eyes the cracks I learned to disguise. I danced through doubts, I played it cool. I followed all the unspoken rules. I didn't want to seem too weak, so I buried everything. I thought if I looked strong enough, you'd finally show up for us. My smile hid the truth that I was breaking down. I made it look so easy while I was barely holding on. I didn't want your pain, I wanted proof. But my smile hid the truth. Now I don't fake what I feel, I don't hide what's real. If someone loves me now, they'll know me completely. I won't apologize again for needing more than pretend. My smile hid the truth, but I won't hide again. I deserve a love that sees me to the end. I didn't want your greed, I wanted proof. But my smile hid the truth. I pack my heart in quiet ways. Didn't slam doors, didn't say names. I faded out like a breath. You didn't notice what you'd left. I stopped explaining how I felt when you never asked yourself. I waited for you to see, but you never looked at me. I didn't leave in anger or pain. I left when stayed felt the same. You didn't hear me leave because I left inside. I was already gone before I said goodbye. I stopped asking you to care, stopped begging you to see it and hear me leave. Some exits don't make a sound, they just quietly turn around. I didn't need to be loud to know I deserved more now. If you ever held my face like you would stay, then turn your eyes away. Your words were kind but incomplete, like you were already free. I felt the shift before the end. Your touch didn't offend. You said my name like a goodbye before I had time to cry. I was still breathing you in when you decided we were done. You left me mid-breath, mid-promise, mid-dream. I was still believing in you and me. You didn't break loudly, you just withdrew. You left me mid-breath, still loving you. I replayed every second slow, trying to see what I didn't know. But some endings don't announce, they just quietly shut you out. If I had known that was the last, I would have held on harder. But love doesn't warn you when it's about to You left me mid-breath, and I fell apart, trying to exhale with a broken heart. I'm learning now how to breathe again, but you left me mid-breath back then. You loved me when it was easy, when I didn't need too much. You loved the smile, not the silence. You loved the light, not the dark. I gave you everything, behold. You only took what you could hold. You left the rest of me behind, like it wasn't worth your time. I needed someone who could stay, not choose which parts were safe. You love me in pieces, and I let you try. But next time my love, it to make myself smaller.